half year now, and here's a place shut in a week on Friday. Well, the prospects for me are not great for getting a job. I'm a fitter done at the trade, and here I just do anything, I think. But being 59, I'll have a bit of job getting a job, but I'll have to do my best. And whenever I'm finished next Friday, just leave no stone unturned to try and get something to do. I've enjoyed my 5.5 years here. The guys have been great to work with. I've learned quite a few different jobbies, but I never learned before. And, so I've got out behind me that which could maybe help me to get a job. Out about, that just takes experience. You never know what will come along. But for 5.5 years here, I've learned quite a lot. But I would say maybe I've got to separate our side. I quite like to separate the aisle for the meal. And I was there for about 3 years, and then they shifted me. Well, they cut the plant by a third because there was no fish coming in. So then I was shifted to do the cooking of the fish, the pressing, and the drying of the meal. So that's been my job. I like it quite much. I think it's a great job, and a lot of long hours at that time, but they shoot the past in a flash, really. And I'll miss the place. I think it will be a big mess to Broch. I know only the Broch. A lot of folk out about. They've lost their jobs already. This place shut down. So I don't know. The roses maybe this is good next year. I get a dirty fish meal in again to feed the roses, but we'll have to go into the manure after this. I don't want manure. But they're for that. A lot of the boys have left and wanted do's. And this last 2 or 3 weeks, there's only a handful left now. Well, a big clear it'll be next week. But I believe it'll be a 1 or 2 kept. Just the final tidy up before they shut the factory. But as I say, it's going to be difficult for me to get another job. My age. Well, my trade maybe help along that line, being a fitter. So here's what we're doing with the best.
As I said, we left to school, we helped at the house with the shieling bit. You see? Was up early in the morning, half early in the morning. And then when the boats come in, we hit the red lines. And then they would put on well on pole to dry. Then next day they were ready doing again, ready for the next taking, for the bait lines again. Well, the summertime came, well, it was a factory, but then I started in the month of March in the dye room. That's for a template was. For making the tents, you see. I opened books as a template and help it with the Kamuto ovens and piled up the template and say much as one, say much otherwise, piled up. And well, that was when it was finished with factory, well, it was near ready for a shieling baiting again, you see. But you see, well, would I to help some folk again? Well, was I into somebody's house helping them if they're no wheel, like Ken Marianne. Well, I help her, I feel helping her and helping Annie, I feel, and Sister Betsy, they all know to help again. And well, you see, in fact, it was when my father was living, he was shielding baiting, you see, and of course that was the school days. And then he had to stop, he had burnishes in him here, and he was 58, I think, when he had to stop, you see. Then Sandy to Cora fell out of the boat. But then Sandy got to Vesper, and he was shielding baiting, see. So that's, well, you see, I'll tell you, there was 3 of us in the crew, There was me and Charlotte Carney and Elsie Richardson. And they were gutting, one of them was gutting, and I was packing. That's why I made good, work it out. One of them was down to Farland, he gutting here, and they got suit, you see. And then I had to pack him, pack here. But I like it working in here, because I mean, I was accustomed with helping Annie. And it was half a fine in the summertime, and the doctor about it read them to, well, in the afternoon we get lemonade and ice cakes, and at night was work at night. It was awful and good tea it was, and fine and heat and half a good pieces again. Was hungry for it. And we had no time to stop and wash our hands. We just had to get a paper, and it were peas and for hand and were tea, and it was good. It was half a fine. But the days I wasn't doing helping, it was a while with the sons. Nearly a whole day, and there was fine.
So why do you pack here? Was there a certain way of packing them?
There was, well, you put one in the middle this way, you see? And there was one here and one here, see? And then you put on the same till the direct heel raw. And then it started a good lot of salt on it, and then started again. But one here in the middle is standing up, you see? But you see, the bottom tier had to be off a stand a techt in, straight up in techt, and the cooper had to sit up over again and passed. So that's why I really enjoyed working in the curing yard. But as I say, the days we was doing helping there was so I don't either with the sands all day or down to the British shore or down to cast on the rocks. Was never hardly in the house in summertime and it was cool days. I think the weather was a lot better then.
Fit curing yard did you work for, Violet? Fit curing yard was that you was working?
It was, I think it was what was his name? It was the first year. He was for Resarty. He belonged to Resarty. It was his first year at curing. And we was new to an awful lot that year because it was an awful poor fishing. We shielded it better now. It was about 5 o'clock anyway.
Was it?
I believe it was. Because it was from we got outside. It was a full house was out there. We took in the mussels again and a tub and put the skull on it. And when you opened the back door in the morning, what a fine air, what a fine smell the bakers. The frosty air and the moon shining and the stars, what a moon it was. But so remember they baited the line and mean baits the shield mussels. And then was finished shielding would have helped it there to bait the line, I mean hooks and their plate, well she saw this while looking, this was the skull here, and then the basket of line was here, see, he admitted that. You can't avoid it, you know. So that's it, and well, we'd cup of tea before we started, and when we finished our line, it was breakfast time. And that was just a feed of that morning rolls. Oh, what a treat.
Well, and lay the lines, like the lines
well, it all depends on the tides. Sometimes the route at maybe, about 3 o'clock or near long, maybe just near long before we rose. It all depends on the tides, But I think it was miracles with there then, because I've seen the boats. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks, sure. And they'd put the away with the mussels got sewered, with the sun and so on.
So, follow the mussels comfy, Violet?
Well, Newborough, I think.
Oh, Newborough.
But you see, in my mother's young day, they had to down to rocks and scalping mussels. See, they had hard work then.
And how did they scarp them? Was it
down the rocks?
With Braidsea or West?
Yeah, and I can't know. It could have been Braidsea or down the Castle, they sure.
Down the Castle.
I never thought in Spain, no. Because that didn't happen in my day.
No.
Because when I get through, I'll tell you, it was man Lawrence Peter Lawrence used to sometimes get through a motor lorry and faulted their muscles. And it was our team down up here and they all got to the Russians. You can, there was a big heap of muscles on. But then the crew come down and they call them scrappy muscles. They fold the hair in baskets of muscles and they were tied against drifters to his line, naked out. See? Well, he got them washing out why? All muscles. But if you got them before they scrap it, you were iron mucky, you can and some of them box on to stay in your hands. So it was, I'll tell you, it was, you had no time to yourself, it was a busy day. After you shilling and baiting and draining lines and deer cooking and cleaning and we'd have a big washing. The fishermen's clothes. Ken, what the liners, the lined shirts and the hem knitted pants long and all the navy blue jerseys. They were all knitted now and seaboot stockings, navy blue. We don't want a navy blue clothes to wash at sale. Separate. And the fine clothes was in, the boiler was full, and and they were 12 scrubs. I mean, I was fed up scrubbing a fine tool. and I threw it at my mother's stove, I thought she wouldn't looking. But she threw it back, she said, it can't be scrubbed already. So, and the boiler it went after she scrubbed, after I got it scrubbed, put it back in there, Tom. And then after all that, it was all rinsed with cold water and poured the lime on it. And I'll tell you, they were snowy white, not much with it. And with a lot of glaze, coloured glaze again. And, it was a whole day washing. Well, I mean, it came out the boiler fire with the candle light again, and then it was finished with candle light. I mean, we lighted again at night to wash up the washing house. What a washing. Oh, goodness. It was if you looked up new, it was just slavery, I think. We had not much time to socialise, you see. No, we didn't go bed earlier, you see, being up, see, you're tired.
Cinema experiences?
Well, the early days I mean in the cinema has gone to serials and the Riddles show on High Street. I'd seen the early shows I mean on. But of course I suppose before that there was floating ones again. But Riddles, there's a serial, there's always a serial in, and every Saturday the kids get in was Dippins, I think. Yeah? And sometimes you go to an orange and that. Yeah? And I got that for years watching that, and I used to ken all the tunes, you can sing all the tunes. When I see you mentioned, I could give the tune, okay, that time. Now, one particular thing I mind is for this show, good for there was up to threepence. You can see it was nearly a riot. There was a crowd got into the show in the afternoon, at the Mid Street, High Street, at the High Street show, and I was crushed with the folk. I was really feared, okay, just to get up to threepence. No, I'd get over on that, see. So the show got on for a long time until it took it fire, and then now this was later on after the war. Okay?
It was after the First War?
After the First War. And so the place took on fire, so there was no other cinema in the town, so they got down to the coffee hall and took it over and put into our projection machines, and the operator was a lassie Morrison, okay? Polly Morrison, she's well known with that, okay? So she did this, and in the meantime, I left the school. I was just 14 at that time, and an uncle threw me a get on his caretaker down at the coffee, so he asked me to go along and give him help. So of course, that was alright for me, because I kept in touch with Polly. I used to collect bits of film, you know. And then I was on it temporarily, and they built Mid Street. That's when Mid Street was built. 1921, okay? And then get up there, and Polly Morrison get up, and her brother and his operator. A lot of this is irrelevant, okay? And so she was doing off so well, and they kept the machines running. There was a lot of breakdowns with the films, and the management was not for that. The management for that is This street was built by a combine a businessman in the Broch, like a Tyndall, some of the Tyndalls, and Melvin, he was on his manager, and a few more of them built the better house. So it started a war, and they got Melvin was on his manager, but he didn't care for much about films and that, you see, and the films were getting one and a half a grade, see. And in the meantime, another one started up in High Street in opposition. And they started a war, and the lads there really cared what they were doing. So it began to affect the mid street. So they decided that others breakdowns, they get rid of the operator.
And we Sandy Reid Barbara at the time. And there was a lassie had working with me, Mary Head, and the sirens went that night and I took her home, and she says, oh, you know what, you have a bath, and she went up to the bathroom to have a bath, and the next morning I came, she would blind right out of the bathroom again, with twa houses doing. And they thought it was another woman that was lying here. This was her again.
Aye. And who was that lassie?
She was about 19.
19. And was that in
18 and 19.
Finlayson Street she was born?
Aye.
And that would have been 1941?
Beginning of that.
Beginning with January 1941.
Aye.
And
then after that I got out, I packed up and got out to 2 works again. And I was in here for 9 months. But by that time they come over and they tried to get 2 works. They were awful low. We seen them coming over. They dropped their bomb, but they just missed the 2 works. And there was a great big crater that was lying for the grain arms is. What I saw as a hole it was, but the thing never went off again.
The bomb never went off?
Aye. We was on the shelters down below in the 2 works again with our shelters in here.
Aye.
Okay,
thanks, Ricky.
That's about that again. Then I was called up and get a word of woolage and that was it. Well, when I was coming home up the road for work, the puddle was bombed again, and all the houses here was all the tops was all just, there was nothing. There was birds singing out and nothing out to the sides of the walls now. And that was a body again. There's a lot of houses here bombed. The old side of Purley was flattened. That was a body.
And that was in Hanover Street.
That was in
Ken Lockley's Purley.
With the car Hanover Street. It was a Purley with Catherine Bairns again.
And there was a barber shop here?
There was no barber shop in Purley.
No.
There wasn't anything here really. There wasn't any shops here.
Oh, just houses?
Just houses again.
Aye.
Purley, there was no shops. That's what I'm saying for the shops is new.
Aye. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, that's about it, eh?
Recht across the door.
Aye.
Mijn, het deed juist te krijgen met glijzen naar de steens hangen doen naar voeten.
Aye, so far was you riding then?
Mid-street, in John Trails.
Aye. And you sticking in your...
Ik kan in de glijzen naar de, van die trapjesboms naar de steens aan het komen van High Street. I don't know anything with. Ik get recht across the door. Supposed to be a doggy, supposed to be in a car outside the station, and never saw the doggy. It was a hole in the middle of the road, it was then before it landed. That's the other the damn main thing. Of course, the time the bomb and the commercial, that was a bad night, but I was just expected to see with the fire and the thing. That was enough and echt, and the folk was by the hunters room watching the fire. As you see. They didn't get back until next day. Enough and echt that night. Yes.
Do you mind anything else about that raid, about the pub?
No, it's not much. I can't mind. You see, we get a watching doing. You see, to see about it. Our houses are extra doors in the local, but then we never got doing. You see. But when I saw the folk, God, it was terrible.
So I thought what you needed to do was you held back the police?
The police, you see, held you back. You didn't think it. Now I was, the blob, I was burning and blazing. You see, chop shop in the Broadgate, the Benzies. It was enough experience. The thing.
Alright. So vertel eens even mij about the Bowmans and Broch.
Oh, no, I mean much more because the fact I see we were never Berlin, had we?
Aye.
But thing with no.
So it was just that two Bowmans should remain.
Just where I less at what time I see me to say. That was the worst. Yeah, that was Beatty's fire. Well, you see, they used to watch the convoys. That was their idea. If they couldn't get the convoys, they couldn't back with their bombs at the drop them somewhere.
Aye. So they just
So
dropped
they just
them.
dropped them. Father could get them, you see. Aye, father could get them.
And of course the convoys passed close past Kinnaird.
Close to Kinnaird. You see, they took their bearings for Kinnaird. See? And they had to pass here. Oh, man.
The roads were blocked here was no 1941 I think, or either 42 just. And we had to run oil and mail up to Fraserburgh for Aberdeen because they couldn't get through for us now. Well, we was lying at where the new market is. Oh well, it's the second market, not the new, you need before that. And the alarm went off. And we heard the plane, like, and then we heard the bombs being dropped. And then we seen the plane, he came over the top of the Drunpool Hall. And on the top of the Drunpool Hall there was a gun, but I don't know who was manning it. It was soldiers or civilians. But when they seen the plane, they ducked under the parapet. Of course, the plane just came right over the top of the ship. It wasn't high up, so I opened fire. And the other machine guns opened fire. I was in charge of the Orlican. And then we followed that plane right, he went right over the breakwater, and we kept firing right over the breakwater until he disappeared. And then 2 days after that, we heard that there was 2 airmen picked up in a raft.
Oh, I see.
So I don't know if we'd hit the plane or somebody else had hit it. It was 2 days after that the raft was picked off Cairn Bulk.
Oh, that's amazing.
I started business in 1923, and he died in 1924. So I left the school 14 in Doon, and I was called till 1943. Work until 1943. It was at the time of the registration of coal customers. There was a chance to get out. I kind of coal business was finished after the war with the electric here. So that was it proved to be reckoned up because there was about a dozen coal merchants here at one time. And the drafters got another coal in the summertime. Steam drafters, you see that.
So you supplied a lot of steam drafters with coal, Sandy?
No, we didn't need much of coal, no.
No.
Small business we had here. And there was a lot. The stuff was carved. The way that I was told you see, the coal. And there's nearly all Scotch coal at the station. And I got a boat now and again, but that was all a coal GT at that time. And it was all weighed, full lorry, horse, that was a horse age, you see. And it was for a war. We started at 12 o'clock on a Sunday morning and a Monday morning. I called them a little more to see if we were there at time. Work until Saturday night at 12 o'clock and started on Sunday night. Yeah, and that was the history of the coal and the fishing at that time.
And then you went on as a fish salesman with Walker, is that right?
No, Collie.
Collie.
Never
sorry.
Walker.
Aye.
Collie.
So when did you start there, Sandy?
48.
48.
I went to work to a fellow with a doctor's scheme. The daughter insurance that was just like insurance, 4pence a week or something it was. And all the doctors were them themselves, you see. And for national health, you see. National Health started in 1945, was it? But they still kept it going for a year or two, yeah. After that, it was, so that's when I get done to the selling fish in the market. The fish was still under control at that time, yeah. Prices was all fixed, and Jimmy Cruden, he was allocated an officer for the fish, you see. But first, I tell you first about when I went to the fish selling, the Davy Slater, he was on his own. He says, "I'm going to have a job for you, you know." And he says, "You're a college Nina salesman." So it was him to tell me about it first. And they come and asked me, saying, I never applied for it. And one, a boy had left, and I got his job, yeah. Doing that same office what he was doing on Saturday, yeah. It's a changed place, but it was the same place. It was Bloomfield's office that originally. And then there was a few different salesmen that then was Walker, Colley, Bloomfield, Walker, MDM, that buggy from McKay, Dougie McPherson, yeah, and Davy Slater, he was on his own, of course. So that's what the history of me and the fish selling. My fish selling ever since. Still mines in a war, struggle a bit, yeah, but that's it.
Now, were you selling white fish only, Davy, or were you doing herring as well?
Herring, we used to work in the old ring, herring silver.
Aye, it was over at the box lines.
But just at the end of the North Pier. Oh, it's a lovely silver. Yeah, and then they had a bell, and they hung a bell. Yeah, but that's how the fishing's changed. The fish and seasons at that time, and the herring was fished for during late June, middle of June, say, till September. And whitefish was the rest of the year, you see. So they didn't again that fishing like what they do now. The boats again 12 months, not stop. They wouldn't stop of some of them if they didn't have the restrictions and tell to stop, yeah. And they need a repair, that's about all the time, yeah. But that was at the fight the salesman said that was for the herring to the whitefish. And the same salesman, he sold the herring something. There wasn't so much whitefish during the summer months. Boats was all the herring, you see. Different now altogether, no herring. There's this big boats, pelagics, and it's our contracted buying, the whole thing's changed. The whole scene's changed, and even the herring market there now. But at that time when the herring was sold at the Bell, the Herring Industry Board had control of it. And you wasn't allowed to sell a herring without a herring industry board man being there. So everybody got a chance to buy herring. You could buy herring, anybody could buy herring, as long as they had a license. Yeah. And now it's our contracted herring, and they don't give it that in. There's no price now. They ruined it. I think they have. We that easily got, and no fishing in season. I think stopping in time, like a month April, fishing ain't good, and they fit to eat, and they still fish for them. Still going fishing. So that's my humble opinion of the fish trade, that instead of this different allocations and different kind of things that the common market fishers is trying to instill on them. It doesn't work, in practice it doesn't work.